interesting game in Madison the other night as we broke down the film, evaluated that game. It was the first time I've been here and seen our guys in the blue and orange kind of remind me of the teams I coached at Stephen F. Austin in terms of our defensive rotations, our flying around, our being disruptive. Part of being disruptive is taking teams out of rhythm, and it makes it harder to shoot. And first half in that ball game, we were really good defensively, really good. Very few breakdowns. You saw guys like Adonis, AD's out there guarding Kobe King in the corner and not getting beat off the dribble and taking away the three, and guys literally flying around. Had a chance, I thought, to be up 8-10, you know, in the first half, and unfortunately it was a night that we didn't shoot the ball real well, especially from Trent and Io. But you give me a minute to go and tell me we're going to be tied in Madison, and I'm going to take those odds every single night. And again, give Brad Davison credit. He made a couple of big plays, and then obviously Reavers on the tip-in where we didn't block him out. But we did some really positive things. We've got to continue to grow on that. We've got a team that is I'm extremely high on in Penn State coming in. They're much better than their record. They're a team that plays as hard as anybody in our league. Pat's done an incredible job. I think they have one of the best combo forwards, not just in the Big Ten, but in all of college basketball in Stevens. And you know, their young freshman guards are playing great, and you know, there's a reason that you know, they handle Nebraska easily and beat Michigan. This is a good basketball team that has leadership, and Reeves and Watkins and Wheeler, Stevens. Those guys know how to win. They remember last year, so we're gonna have to play awfully well.
Thanks.
Does the early start mean that you have to do things differently than normal?
We will not shoot tomorrow, but we'll get them up. Our guys are used to it. We practice, you know, as you know, we practice at 7. A lot of times we lift at 6. But we won't have a shoot around. We'll hold our shoot around tonight, which we've done before, and then you know, just jump right into you know, 7 a.m. pregame and move from there.
How many similarities are there between you and Penn State in terms of maybe playing different than what the record would indicate and just the style?
Well, you know, I think you look at, you know, in the Big Ten, I think the one thing that's happened and throughout this year is Rutgers, Penn State, us. You know, we've continued to improve and get better, and we continue to work, and you know, it's a huge compliment to Pat and keeping that team together. I think they've got maybe 8 or 9 freshmen, sophomores on that team, and they've continued to get better. And this is a good basketball team. They beat Virginia Tech early in the year. They've got a lot of single-digit losses, and you know, now they've got their head up, and we've been able to do the same thing. So there's similarities there. I think that we both play really hard, and you know, that means it's going to be a good old-fashioned rock fight tomorrow, and I would expect that.
What challenges does Lamar present, and how do you have to guard him, attack him at both ends, really?
Well, he does so many things. He's got physical size at 6'8", 220 pounds, 225 pounds. He can be a primary ball handler. He can play literally every position on the court. Maybe not the point, but he brings the ball in transition. He posts up. He can beat you off the dribble. He's got a great knack of getting fouled. He's a terrific rebounder, and that hurts you on both ends of the court, offensively and defensively, because he leads the break. And you know, he's a little different than an Ethan Happ, but he's very similar in his contributions to his team, because he just fills the stat sheet in every capacity. He's a better shooter than Ethan, but you know, so versatile that he just makes his guys around him better.
Brad, what do you as a basketball fan remember about the Flying Illini? Do you recall watching them play?
Yeah, in fact, I remember, I've got a long history with Coach Nagy, and as a kid, Coach was the coach at Barton County Community College, and growing up in Kansas, the junior colleges were a big deal, and you know, always going to watch his teams. Well, in the summertime, I always attended a camp called Heart of America Sports Camp. They're big camps, and Coach Nagy used to work there, and there was a group of us that had grown up in that camp, and in '89, when Illinois was in the Final Four, you know, we got together with Coach Nagy. There was a group of us, and you know, went to dinner out there, and then watched them. Of course, we were all pulling for them, but you know, I remember, you know, the like size was positionless basketball, so to speak, back when positionless basketball didn't exist. Everybody had the true centers in the 80s, and everybody was stereotyped into a position, and they didn't play that way. They played so hard, they played together, they played unselfish. Their athleticism was maybe unparalleled by many at that time, and you know, obviously probably was the best team in the country, and they didn't win it, but that's one of the things that happens in the NCAA tournament. But yeah, you know, you could in a lot of ways say they revolutionized and changed the game and gave people a different way to think about how to play. But yeah, they were a fun team to watch, and obviously helped put and establish what was a great program, put it at another level with what they did and accomplished.
I mean, with those guys coming back, just the opportunity for your players to sit down and just talk with them, what could that mean for your guys?
Well, and I told our team this. There's every great program has to create a culture and an environment where players like that want to come back and know it's home. And yeah, when they're going to watch this current team play, I want them to be able to look out there and say, man, that's the way we did it. We played hard, and I want those guys to sit in the stands tomorrow and be extremely proud. And I told our team, and I said, hopefully, when your opportunity comes to be recognized and you come back here, the team you're watching out there is one that makes you very proud as well. And you know, means a lot. And all of our guys know who they are. They may not have met them, but the opportunity to put a name with a face, hear the stories, hear the struggles that they went through. They've had Bardo around, they've had Kendall around because of proximity, but it'd be great for them to meet the others and hear their stories and their struggles and their fun times, and talk about Bromley or talk about, you know, other places that they hung out and things they did, and that's part of the uniqueness about being a Fighting Illini basketball player. Thanks. No? Yes? Dang. Dang, BB, you're supposed to get me out of here quick.
And now I'm gonna just blank on what I was gonna ask you about. Oh, you know, that team was built with Illinois guys, a lot of guys out of Chicago, and you got one, you know, in Iowa like that really maybe playing here meant something to them. Are you looking for that more on the recruiting trail, maybe?
Yes and no. I think the one thing that's happened is television has games were very regionalized back then. You know, you had the, you know, growing up in Kansas, you know, we had the Big 8 game of the week. You know, and this part of the world, it was the Big 10 game of the week, and everybody was dialed into those games because they were the only ones on TV. You didn't get an opportunity to see other teams as much. I think that in today's world, you can flip on, you know, I happened to be recruiting last night, but Thursday night, all I know is that's Pac-12 night. You're gonna watch a bunch of Pac-12 games on television. That's opened it up. It's opened up national recruiting. I always want to keep our best players at home, and if the state has that much talent and those kind of guys in it, there's no doubt we want them to be right here. I don't want to limit. I don't want to discourage other players from other states coming here because we're recruiting the state of Illinois. But obviously we want to keep them here, and I think that's what makes, you know, as a sidebar, not as the main story, I think as a sidebar, that's what makes that team unique, is there's a lot of Illinois guys on it. But I think they're known for much more than just being Illinois players playing at the University of Illinois. They're known as really, really good basketball players who got to the Final Four and had a chance to do something that was elite, and I think that's the big picture in that story.